Hey y'all, today I'm going to make some carb-friendly cube steak and gravy. I'll show y'all how I make that. This is Carb Quick, and I got some in my pan there. I'm going to roll my cube steak. I got cube steak. This is locally grown, locally processed, and that's our price here in Alaska. And not too bad. I don't think it's too bad. Anyway, we're going to be frying these off in my my little cooker, electric skillet. So I'm going to fry those off and get them nice and brown after I've dipped them in my my Carb Quick over here. And you don't have to use an egg wash or anything like that. I usually just get them wet. Just run them under the water a couple of minutes, or not a couple of minutes, but for just a second. Or you can dip them in almond milk. Sometimes I've dipped them in my almond milk and fried them up that way. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get these breaded up. And we're going to get them put in our cooker. And then I'll show y'all a little bit more of the process. Okay, so I got my steak in here. I've used almond milk to dip it in, and then I'm going to dip it in that here in just a second. But I'm going to show you all my spices that I'm using today are Monterey steak sauce, roasted garlic and herb, turmeric, and black pepper. You can use any kind of spices you want to. You can not put hardly any spices. You can put a lot of spices. You can put salt, whatever you want to put, but these are some of my favorite spices, and I'm not a sponsor of McCormick. Probably looks that way because I use mostly McCormick, but I do that because it is a good product and because it's usually cheaper than some of the other brands. So I like the McCormick. When I can get from a local store or something like that, that's somebody here locally has made, I'll get that, but I haven't been anywhere to get any of that, so I've got McCormick. And these are all really good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dip my steaks in there in the Carb Quick. Get those all breaded up really good. I'm going to use a little bit of baking soda as well. I'll put a little bit of that in with my Carb Quick. Just gives it kind of a little bit of a crisp. Makes it a little bit more crispy. That's if y'all didn't know it, that's the secret to a lot of wings. Like when people make wings and they got a little bit of crisp on them, it's because they used baking soda. It works really good to make a little bit of a crispy crust on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spray this with my olive oil. I have Pam this time because Pam was cheaper. I'll just get whatever kind of olive oil they have. It's whatever's the cheapest at the time that I'm buying it. So this time I got Pam. The Great Value brand is really good too. But just make sure you're getting extra virgin olive oil because it's the best for cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and get these finished breading, put some spices on them, and get them put in my pan. And when I put them in here, I'm going to put it on about 350 until it gets really, really hot, and then I might turn it down to about 275 or something. But I like to cook mine pretty quick, though, because that seals all the juices inside of them and everything, and they are beef, so it's best to only cook them on two sides. Like, just put them in there, brown them on one side, make sure it's good and brown on one side, and then flip them over, brown that side, and take them out. Beef is much more tender if you do it that way. Pork chops as well. If you just brown them on one side, flip them over, brown the other side, they're a lot better. They're a lot less dry. They're more juicy, and they have more flavor to them. So that's just a little tip. Just a little hint that I learned working for some chefs and stuff. They showed me that little trick about not like continuously flipping your meats over to get them browned. Just put them on one side, let that side brown, flip it over, let that side brown, take it out. That's all you got to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get this part of it done, and I'll get back with y'all. Yeah, I went ahead and put all my spices in there. just to give that a good flavor when I make my gravy, because I will be using this flour here to make my gravy with, to make my roux. So I like to go ahead and get all my spices and everything in there, and then it makes a really good flavorful roux. And I'll show y'all how I do that here just a little bit. Okay, so I got that side nicely browned. You can see that there. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I put a little bit of breadcrumbs. I used a panko stock. I sprinkled some on there and before I put them on there, and I just mashed them in with my fingers. And that gives it a little bit more of a crisp as well. If you use the panko kind of breadcrumbs, gives it a nice little crispy coating on it. But that's one side finished, and now I just got to get the other side browned, and then I'll get started making my roux and my gravy. Okay, so I melted about a quarter of a stick of butter in here. This is salted butter. You can use unsalted if you'd like. You can use any kind of butter, or you could put oil. You could use whatever you wanted to. Sometimes I'll use like some bacon grease or something that I have in the refrigerator that I've saved. And you just want to have enough to cover the bottom of your pan. And the reason I melt my butter is because it'll burn on here, because this pan is so hot. And if you try to melt butter, the butter that melts ahead of the other butter will burn, and the other butter will still be melting. So I'm going to keep this up on about 350. And you just want to wait till your butter gets really, really hot. You can tell because it'll start kind of like sizzling. And you don't want it to start evaporating either. So you can see it starting to sizzle right there a little bit. You want to get that sizzle in the whole pan, because you want this to be really, really hot so you can brown your flour. Now you can do this with regular flour too if you wanted to. I just use the almond or the carb quick because it's lower in carbs, and I don't eat very many carbs. I eat a few, but not a lot. And I really can't eat flour things very much because since I don't have a gallbladder, I don't process it that very good. So I don't use much flour in anything. I prefer to use the Carb Quick or something like that. Okay, so this is a good sizzle. It's getting pretty hot, really hot. Let's see. So then I'm just going to take my flour, and I'm just going to dump it in there. Okay, y'all, my memory card ran out, so memory on my phone ran out, so I had to do that pretty quickly. So what I did was I just kept stirring it until I got my brown gravy mixes and my Carb Quick all browned. It got really, really browned. It looks like it's burning, but it's not. Don't worry. You just want it to be dark. So then once I got that done, then I put about a half a cup of the almond milk in there and just kept stirring it until it thickened. And you can see it's pretty thick. You don't really want it quite that thick. Now, if you were making biscuits and gravy, that would probably be really good. Just add some more pepper to it, and you'd have some good biscuits and gravy. But since I'm using this for cube steak and putting it on mashed potatoes, I'm going to put about another half a cup in there, get that stirred up and heated, and then see if that'll be enough. If not, you can just keep adding either the almond milk, or you can add some water to it as well, whatever you would like to do. And you can thin it out to the texture that you want. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll show y'all what it looks like. Okay, so that's about where I want mine. You see how juicy it is? And when I put my steak in there and put the lid on this and let it cook for a little while, it's going to get thicker again. So knowing that, I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit more of the almond milk in there. And I've used a total of about 2 cups there. A little bit more in there because you got to remember it's going to get thicker. So that's about where I like it. Now we're going to go get our steaks. And you don't have to do this. If you want to get your steaks cooked through and through and keep them with the crispy crust on them and not put them in the gravy, you can do that. But I find that the gravy gives them so much more flavor. It's so good. So you just want to take your little steaks that you've got and just put them in here. Oh boy, they're so tender. Some of that's going to fall off, but you can scrape it out, or you can scoop it out when you get it all fixed, and you'll still have your crust. But you just want to put that in there, and you just want to leave them in there. I just do one side, that way I do still have a little crispiness on the steaks too. So I'm just going to turn those down. You can see they're boiling pretty good. They're simmering. And I'm going to turn that down to about 250. You can see I got that down to about 250. And I'm going to put my lid on it, and I'm going to cook them for about 10 minutes. And that'll finish cooking the steaks. And those steaks will just absorb all that flavor from the gravy. So that's what I'm going to do. Going to put my lid on. Here's my lid. And you just want to watch it. You don't have to stir it or anything like that. Just keep an eye on it. And if it seems to be boiling too much, just go ahead and turn it down a little bit more. I'm going to turn this down to 200 because it's just boiling too much for me. So I'm going to turn that down to 200. And then that should stop the boil. But you don't have to stir it or anything. Just let it cook for about 10 minutes or so, depending on how well you like your steak done. I usually let mine cook for about 10 minutes. And that makes it just barely well done. So while that's cooking, you can go ahead and get the rest of your stuff ready that you're going to have with your meal. And if you take this lid off for any reason, I've told this on another one of my videos, especially with the cast iron. If you take that lid off for any reason and it's got moisture inside of that, and it's like a lot, you want to pour that out before you put the lid back on. Because if you don't, it will break your gravy. You know what I mean by breaking your gravy? It will separate it. It'll separate the liquidy from it'll turn it back into like a gravy packet. Okay, I don't think you got what I was saying recorded, so I'm going to tell y'all again. If you're doing this, I'm going to turn that down a little bit because it's boiling too heavy. So you're going to turn that on down a little bit more, down to warm. But as I was saying, if you take the lid off for any reason, it don't matter what you're cooking and what you're cooking it in, if you're using a cast iron skillet or what you're using, if you take this lid off, you want to make sure, you see all this condensation in there, all that moisture, you want to pour all of that out. You want to make sure your lid does not have any juice in it, any water in it, because that will break your gravy apart. Your gravy will separate, and it won't be thickened like that anymore. It'll be real watery. So you got to be careful and not put any of that moisture back in there, because what it's doing is it's cooking that moisture out, and it's collecting on the lid. So you can see it collects on the lid. So when you take that lid off, you need to pour that moisture out and not put it back in there, because if you put it back in there, it's going to break your gravy apart. So this is almost done. This has been going for about 7 minutes or so. So I'm going to give it just a couple more, and we're going to call it done. And then I'll show y'all what it looks like later on when I get it plated up. Okay, there it is, all chopped up, y'all. Ready to eat. And we're just doing one today. That's enough for me and Mom with half it. So me and Mom will have half of that one today and half of that one tomorrow. I got my mashed potatoes done, and I opted to do some green beans with a couple little pieces of ham in there that I had in the freezer. And that's going to be our meal. I'll show y'all what it looks like when I get it plated up. And there it is. There's our plate. Just enough. And then we'll have this today, and then tomorrow we'll have leftovers. So we get 2 meals out of this. So there it is. That's what it looks like. That pretty? Looks delicious. Wish y'all could smell it. So we still got more for tomorrow. All right. Talk to y'all a little bit later.
They can sing soprano. Almost out to. Her tail just wagging.
My baby. It's my girl. Say hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Yep. Mama over there. She's watching Styx. It's my favorite Styx concert. So good. I heard Carissa say, life is never what it seems, and every man must meet his destiny. Oh, I love Styx. Styx was one of their albums was the very first album I ever bought myself with my own money. I had a record player since about the age of maybe 3, and I used to listen to my daddy's old records. He had a whole bunch of hootenanny records and all kinds of records, and I listened to his records on my record player. Never scratched a record. By the time I was 5 or 6, I could change my own needle, could do everything with my my record player. But this was I had a job at my neighbor's house, cutting fern and doing things like that for the florist, potting plants, doing all kinds of stuff. From about the age of 8 or 9, I think I was 8 when I went to work over there with him. And I saved up my money, that and my birthday money that I got, and I was able to go buy Styx. Love that album. I was just little. But Fusion. This is after Dennis DeYoung left, though, but I like this guy too. He's good. I forget his name. He's good. Tommy Shaw. Tommy Shaw is one of my favorite vocalists of all time. I love Tommy Shaw. Whether he was with Styx or Damn Yankees or doing his own thing or whatever band he was with, I just love Tommy Shaw. So that's what we're doing. We're watching a Styx concert. We watched a Kiss concert earlier. It was good too. Moody Blues. She likes Moody Blues. Mama likes Moody Blues. And Electric Light Orchestra. Did you get it, baby? Did you get it? You get it? Get it. Don't tear it up and eat it. Like I know you will. Say hey, Mama. Say hey. Oops. Whoa, whoa. Can you say hello? Hello? I'm going to play with the tube some more. Okay, well, I did a little cooking video before this, and then I thought, oh well, I'm not going back outside. I was out there a little earlier doing some stuff. We're fixing to get warmer weather. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be in the 30s all week, so that'll be a little change. I'm still not ready to say goodbye to the snow, but the cold weather, it can get a little warmer and still snow. And I'll be happy. If you get the tube, get your nose with it. Get your nose with it. Ooh, your nose is stuck in there. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. You gotta sing the castle walls. Do do do. She's so funny. Anyway, I'm gonna go. It's a short one, I know, but it's entertaining. I love you. God bless y'all. And I will talk to you on the next video. Willie, say bye. Can you say God bless you? Really? Say God bless you. God bless you. All right. I'll talk to y'all on the next video.